And I want to start in Ephesians 5. So if you would, go ahead and turn to Ephesians 5, and we're going to be reading verses 1 and 2. Once again, that's Ephesians 5, verses 1 through 2. Starting verse 1. Therefore be imitators of God as beloved children, and walk in love, as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us, a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. Here we're encouraged to follow Christ's example, an example of sacrificial love, and to share the love with others. It's very important to understand that we have an impact on everybody we come in contact with. Sometimes we don't realize that, and this may be a foreign thought to us, but the person we could come in contact with may not know the Bible, may not even own a Bible. For me, 2 years and 10 months ago, I did not own a Bible. I did not know God's love. So we never know when we can change someone's entire life. Through showing God's love, you could simply prick somebody's heart and make them curious. Why we should do that, I think, is found in Romans, and I'm going to read Romans 5 and verse 8, which says, "But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." This really shows us why why we should be willing to share God's love. God's love is unconditional for us. And through the sacrifice of Christ, he shows us how to love others even when they don't deserve it. It is important to remember that we all have sinned as well. And we all have fallen short of a standard that was set. And that we should give grace to those who do the same, because they loved us back. Everyone deserves a chance to feel and see God's love in action, so they can be someone who shares that love for themselves and for others to see. I would like to kind of close my thoughts by reading from 2 Corinthians. If you would go ahead and turn to 2 Corinthians 5. And we're going to read verses 14 through 15 to sort of wrap our thoughts up. Verse 14 starts by saying, "For the love of Christ controls us, because we have concluded this, that one has died for all, therefore all have died. And he died for all, that those who live might no longer live for themselves, but for their sake died and was raised." Maybe you're here tonight and you're hearing these things and you recognize what God's love means to you. Christ's love compels us to live not for ourselves, but for others, and for him, most importantly. You do not have to sign up for God's love, and you certainly don't have to wait to be invited to be loved by God. You have to choose God. And you have to choose to love others as God loved you. He just asks that you live a life for him, and that you would share the good news with others, that his son, Jesus, loved you so much that he died for you and all your sins, and that he was born again so that we as humans might have a hope with him in heaven. If there's anything we can do for you tonight, I would like to invite you forward as together we stand and as we sing.